These are my 2 cents on helping people from a medical professional. A lot of times we want to help people because they want to be helped. They come to us asking us for advice. However, there will be a point of time where you realize that whatever you do as the person that's helping other people, whatever you do, the other person is not getting better. And it is very, very frustrating when you see that no matter what you do, the person you're helping is not even just not getting better, it's getting worse. And a lot of times you feel helpless, you feel hopeless, and you will feel incompetent even. Because after pouring your heart and soul onto helping someone, nothing has changed. I went through many, many situations like this, and for a long time I was doubting my ability to help others, even though I was trained for it. And that took a huge mental toll. But then I realized one very, very important thing. I probably at my 5th year, either 4th or 5th year of practicing, is that some people just don't want to be helped. Yeah, they will come to us for help, but they just don't want to get helped. They don't want to change. I was speaking to a psychiatrist about this, and he said something that's very cancelable. For people that want to get helped, the motivation of doing nothing exceeds the motivation of change. It's very twisted. Yes, I know, it's very twisted. And the reason why he said that, I was very shocked when he said that. And I asked him, why did you? That's a very cancelable thing to say. Why did you say that? They said when they're in a state of constantly getting helped, they have formed their identity around that person being sick, being sad, or just being helpless. And when you form your identities around something, it's very, very hard to change. I knew a person who was in an abusive relationship. They would tell a lot of people, a lot of their close friends, that they're in an abusive relationship. And a lot of people would help them, but nothing has changed. They would still keep having the same issue over and over again, despite literally more than 10 people were helping them. And a lot of us, the ones that were helping, I was helping them too. Guiding through communication styles, guiding through how to handle emotional abuse and breakup, that kind of stuff. And over time, I realized that nothing has changed. However, I realized that a little bit too late, that helping them was actually causing more mental strain and more mental capacity than I expected. So what did I do when I realized that I couldn't really help them? I need to tell them the truth. I told my friend that I wasn't able to keep listening because I felt hopeless. I felt hopeless that I couldn't help them. And it would be very beneficial for them to see an actual trained professional in that field. And it was a very, very difficult conversation because I was one of the few good listeners, that's what they would say, in their lives, that without me, they couldn't find other people to genuinely listen to them. But at that time, I didn't have the mental capacity to do that anymore because I was working on my business. I was still studying, and I needed to redirect my focus and my energy on a lot of things. And the reason why I'm sharing this personal story is because it's not to tell you guys to not help your friends. It's to tell you guys to set clear boundaries with yourself and even with other people. It's not even, especially with other people. When you realize that you're incapable of doing something, or realize that you don't have the capacity, I don't have the capacity. You don't have the capacity to do something, or you need more resources. Please speak up. Because if you don't tell the other person, if you don't communicate well, they will assume that you have the capacity, that you can keep dealing with whatever you're doing, so that they might double down. So please reach out to other people, reach out to them, tell them that I don't really know what to do in this situation. Give me more time to figure things out, and maybe I can handle this in the future. You need to know yourself well enough to communicate with yourself. And after you know yourself well enough, you know your boundaries, you know your emotions, you can then communicate to other people. And communication is a huge key, but The step before communication is courage. You want to have the courage to know that, okay, I don't have the capacity to do a lot of things. Does that mean you can get better so that you can have the capacity to do things? Yes, but you need time. You need time to know, and you need time to learn the things that you want to get better at. And it's very, very important to give yourself time, to give yourself the time to reflect, to give yourself the time to know that maybe something is out of your capacity.